The Garden Report is brought to you by Fanduel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
And what's the summer been like so far for him, for you? Long playoff run, but I'm sure he gets right back into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, he took 2 weeks off right after Game 7, and then after that, he was started what we kind of do is pre season testing for him. So we kind of test where he's at, bench press, vertical, just a lot of tests that his trainer takes him through. And then we set goals from there. And I would say the next 2 weeks after Game 7, so he took 2 weeks off, and then the next 2 weeks, he was just in the weight room. So he was just lifting, working a lot on mobility, working a lot on his core and his strength, things like that. And then week 5, we got back in the gym and started doing everything. So that was the first week of July. So the first week of July, he's been in the weight room and on the court 5 to 6 days a week.
And so, what kind of drills are you guys going through? I guess kind of the primary focuses, you always try to set goals for the summer too, I'd imagine. What are the big things you guys are working on when you're in the gym?
Well, one of our number one goals coming into this summer was for him to gain more upper body strength.
Yeah.
And for some people, that may not be, the perfect answer offensively, but I felt like with his defensive versatility, so, you go from some nice guard, Trae Young, Kyrie, to all of a sudden Jimmy, James Harden. I really wanted him to be stronger in that upper body to be able to take on some of the contact that I saw him receive in the playoffs. So I think his upper body strength not only will help him on defense, but also on offense. In pick and roll situations, getting downhill a little bit more, and being able to make plays for his teammates.
And the shooting just popped last year. Obviously, I think his best shooting year of his career. You talked about that when we talked last going into the year. It was just incredible, the consistency, especially, they were relying on him to end a lot of those sets, hitting threes, playoffs even better. And that was probably the biggest difference, I think, from the first year in Boston to this year, was just how reliable he was in that sense. Looking back on it, was it a tweak to the form? Was it just sort of the repetitions of last summer, or, kind of figuring out where he was going to get those shots within the offense? What do you think accounted for that big difference?
I think you hit it on the head. Definitely was a tweak in the form. We definitely, if you go back and look at his shooting, he definitely created more arch on his shot. We talked a lot about apex shooting last summer. But Derrick's definitely a guy of being familiar. And once he understood where his shots were going to come from, his teammates and coaches had the confidence in him. He can definitely become a confident shooter. He's had that in his game, but he's also such a team player that he kind of needs a little bit of a heads up of, hey, the shots are coming here. This is when they're coming. If I see JT do this type of move, I know he's getting to the bucket, or I know he's going to a step back, or I know he's coming off the ball. So just being able to understand his teammates a little bit better. And those guys did a great job of just, making them feel at home.
And the defense, you mentioned it, all defense last year, the different positions he had at guards. This team switches a lot. It seems like he really found himself on that side of the floor too. He's always taking the charges. You told me you're not teaching the charging. That's not what they pay you for. But his defense, what do you see shine on that end of the floor? And now I think they're probably going to play a little different with Porzingis out there. What are you preparing for on that end now in terms of his role?
Well, once again, until you know the schemes, it's kind of hard to prepare. So there will be an adjustment period. Once he gets back to Boston and gets into training camp. Yeah. I think just quickness, athleticism, and strength. Playing for the Boston Celtics and playing on this team, one of the things you got to recognize, you're hoping to play 102 to 110 basketball games per year. So Derrick White's a good basketball player. He's a great basketball player. Now what you're looking for is the longevity, right? You're looking to see how can we put together If you want to use an example, Golden State, how can you put together 4 to 6 of those 102 to 110 seasons back to back to back? So just getting him stronger, getting his core stronger, foot speed quicker, mobility, and along with a lot of stretching, just trying to, get his body to where, 82 games regular season, and then get those 20 to 27 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he's one of the few guys that wants to do that. Like, that was a big thing for him last year, was hitting those 82 games. I think only with I don't have the number right in front of me, but a small handful of guys do that now. Plus the playoff games you're accounted for too there. A lot of guys want to rest. A lot of guys want to build up for the postseason. A lot of teams do too. But for him, it's different. He wants to be in all 82 games, it seems, year in and year out. What's the balance there, you think, in terms of being available night in, night out? I mean, he even got out there after the ear thing in Milwaukee where his eardrum burst. Like, there's no nights off for him. But there's a balance there too, isn't there?
I think, he gets enough rest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy that's early to bed and, up early, takes great care of his body. And Derrick White, I always tell people this about him that I've known since the 7th grade. He will do every type of treatment, every type of conditioning. He will run hills. He will run mountains. He'll do all the stuff to play 5-on-5. When he plays 5-on-5, when it's game night, that's his reward. If you take 5-on-5 away from him, I don't know how excited he would be when I take him up to Red Rocks in Colorado, or I take him up to the Manitou Incline where he's got to climb 5,280 steps at altitude. He'll show up. He'll do all of that. But the on the other end, the reward is he wants to play 5-on-5. And so for him, 82 games, the fans, the playoffs, he wants to do that. I can't speak on other guys, but 5-on-5 is a reward to him.